Today we're joined by Chief Dan Parkinson. Chief, some good news. The stats are out. Crime rates are down.
Yep, good news again. Crime continues to be well maintained in the city. We just took our stats, our 2015 stats, to the board at our board meeting earlier this week and reported out on, again, some significant achievements over the course of 2015 compared to 2014.
Now, Chief, before we get too far into stats in regards to crime rates, obviously there's many different facets of crime that happen within our community. Maybe you can explain to our viewers some of the different areas, and then why are we moving up or moving down in certain areas?
We tend to break them down into four broad chunks. There's violent crime, property crime, other crime, and drug crime. And in three of those four categories, we saw a reduction in violent crime. We're down about 6% over 2014. Total other crimes, which is a category of crime that normally relates to what we'd refer to as administration of justice type offenses. Those are breach of probation, failing to show up for court, breach of parole. Those numbers are down slightly. Drug violations are down as well in the adult category and the youth crime category. So it's good news on both fronts there. Within those broad categories, there's types of calls, of course, like theft of auto, break and enter, causing a disturbance, counterfeit currency. There's a whole litany of subcategories of crimes that we monitor on an ongoing basis. Some of those do go up, as you said. Some stay the same, and some go down. On balance, though, we're heading in the right direction. There's more going down than there are going up. From time to time, we will have a bit of a blip in certain types of crimes that we monitor very closely. And if it starts to look like more than a blip and turning into a trend, we start to design some strategies around how to reduce those.
Now, Chief, under your leadership, since you've been Chief of Police here in the city of Cornwall, rates have declined, which is a compliment to your style. But one of the things I see, especially being involved with the school boards, is the community interaction that the police department is now having with the community.
Well, believe it or not, that is a crime-fighting technique, if you will. And yeah, since I've been here, we've gone through 4 business plans. We're winding up our 4th. This really doesn't have much to do with me. What we have is a plan that is designed by members of our organization with input from outside our organization to come up with a plan and strategy to address crime. The actual implementation of the actions behind that plan are the frontline people. It's not me. What they do is they, of course, are directed by the plan itself, the strategic plan itself. They go out and apply what the plan says, and crime reduction has been a focus of ours for the past 12 years. Youth crime and youth engaged in crime has been a major focus of ours for the last 12 years. And you're right, we're spending time in schools, we're spending time with young people. We're hopefully having a beneficial effect in turning those young people away from ever engaging in a life of crime. And I think that's really a broad part of our success. If we can get them when they're young and be mentors, be supports for them, engage them when we see them starting to head towards trouble, get them turned around, keep them on the straight and narrow, keep them out of the formal justice system, we're going to be successful. We're going to continue to see crime go down.
Now, Chief, there's a lot of good news in the report. Stats are being reduced, which is great for our local community. But if there's an area within the report that you think you'd have to focus on going forward, what would that be?
Well, violent crime itself is probably the most serious type of crime that we're facing and cause to deal with on an annual basis. I've said this in previous years. Domestic violence continues to be a nut that's rather hard to crack for us. However, we have embarked on a new strategy. We've had some funding from the city to allow us to deal with domestic violence in a different way and a little more effectively, as well as some government money that we've just received. And this is more offender focused. You know, we recognize that there are victims of domestic violence, and we will continue to be as supportive and as vigilant in looking after their concerns. However, on the offender side, we happen to know with some accuracy who has already been an offender, who has been a domestic violence offender, And there's a high likelihood that some of these individuals are going to reoffend. So in advance of them reoffending, we're actually approaching them and offering them an opportunity to go to some sessions to teach them what a proper relationship is without violence. And we've had referrals, we've had men sign up for this program, so we're hoping, we're believing that this strategy, coupled with our efforts at dealing with victims, are going to be successful in reducing domestic violence in the city.
Chief, I want to compliment you through your department as well. Crime rates are down. That's great for our community. Thanks again for being on the program with us today.
My pleasure.
We look forward to talking to you in the near future in regards to accreditation, which we did talk about in 2015.
Well, there's good news there. We're working on a news release. We did accept our accreditation award last week, actually, at a conference, and we're going to be announcing that by media. And
we'll break that down a little later in the weeks to come. Again, thank you. Yeah. I'm Todd, along with Chief Dan Parkinson, talking crime rates in the city of Cornwall. Rates are down. That's great for all of us.